It's good to be back again. Another day, another conversation. Always exciting. Always a pleasure, always a joy. I am that I am, an embodied master in service. Today I was going to have a conversation about the prison. Ooh. Well, what some people call the prison. This reality. People see it as a prison most of the time. It's usually how they describe it in spiritual communities. The cell, the prison, the trap. It's not a trap. It's not a prison. It's not a cage. But let's talk for a minute how you got into it, how you got into this reality. It's very simple. And by understanding how you got in, you can understand how you get out. Because the way in is the way out. You get out the same way you got in. I was told once if you see it as a prison cell, it's fine, but just realize there's no cell door. There's no guards. You can walk away anytime you want. You can simply walk out of it. It's kind of the secret that's hidden in plain sight. All you have to do, you're looking into the prison cell, you're seeing a wall beside you, a wall here, and a wall in front of you, but you never think about just turning around and looking behind you. You look behind you one day, you realize, oh, there's no door. There's no lock, there's no key, there's no one stopping you from just turning around and walking out. The way you came in. You can say the mind is that prison, is that cell, it's the cage, not really a cage or a prison. So how did you get in? You assumed, and you walked in. It's that simple. And that's the way out. You assumed you were the mind. You assumed what's around you was real. And therefore, it became so. At least the experience did. Energies came and in service to you made it real. It's simple. Because when you were first born, let's just go with this lifetime. Born in this lifetime, when your soul first entered the body, into the fetus, whatever came in, and the baby was born, is the baby in the mind? Does the baby think it is this? Does it think it's the body? I'd say no, it doesn't. It doesn't really have any understanding. It doesn't know what the body is. It starts to figure out over a few times that it can touch things, it feels things. The body tells it grumbles, and when it gets milk, it feels better. It starts to associate these visceral feelings with who it is. But at the beginning, it's not in the mind. It's actually outside of it, in a way. It's not even fully in the body yet. Hasn't fully integrated itself into the body. It may even take till someone's in their teens for a soul to fully integrate into the body. Beautiful breath. So, how did you start to think you were this? Well, you just assumed everybody else around you assumes they are the mind, they are the body, and you look at other people, and that's where you get your ideals from, what you think reality is. You say you really started to go into the mind when you started school. That's why preschool children will say some of the darnest things. Parents may have seen that in their own child. They'll just say something that seems, how would you know that? Where did that come from? But usually as they start going to school, they start learning their colors, their letters, their numbers, stranger danger, all that fun stuff. And they start to go more into the mind. They start to think about things more. They start to become more linear. A young child doesn't really understand linearity. They may understand I cry, then someone brings me a bottle, or I cry and somebody changes my diaper. That's about it. They don't understand how that happened. They don't understand that someone needed to go to the store to buy the formula, or buy the diapers, or buy the wipes, and all that kind of fun stuff. They don't have an understanding of that yet. They're not into that logic, into that linear path completely. But as you start to grow, you just assume, because it's what everybody's telling you. It's what everything tells you. It's what the five senses tell you. The sight, hearing, taste, smell, touch. These are the common senses. Very common. Every human has them. And it's mostly what humans use to understand the reality. There are more senses beyond that. You have your divine senses, which are quite an interesting topic. We may make a video about that in the future. We'll say a little bit. You say beauty is a sense. Just like smell or taste or touch, beauty is a sense. You can feel beauty. You can experience beauty. You can explore it with a breath. You know beauty not because someone tells you it's beautiful, not because you just know it. You know that symmetry, that beautiful alignment of energies. You can just feel it. It's not mental. I think you can go to an art gallery. You can understand a painting intellectually. You can say, well, it follows the golden mean. It uses these colors. It's in this style. It was done by this artist in this time. That's information. But to actually stand in front of a painting and feel into it and just be within it, there's a sense of beauty that can be felt. It's what an artist is usually looking for most of the time. Sometimes it is mental. I've been to museums to see Jackson Pollock paintings. Very abstract. He's the artist that dripped paint onto his paintings. They're not logical. They're chaotic. Yet when you stand in front of them, especially when you see one in real life, and you're this huge giant paintings, you're surrounded in a room full of them. They have an energy to them, like, whoa, a beauty. Whoa, that you can't really label with the mind. They're so abstract because they have no image. They have no mental purpose other than this chaosness to them. But this beautiful order is with them as well. It's a beautiful thing to experience. So, beauty is one of your other senses. We'll get into other senses later on, but that's a good one to explore in the beginning. It's one of my favorite. But most humans go around with common sense, or stupid sense as I call it. Common and boring and dull. The five senses, the physical senses, which aren't bad. It's just when you think that's all there is, you can't go beyond them. Life becomes a bit dull. It becomes in a box. You start to limit yourself. If I can't taste it, if I can't see it, if I can't hear it, if I can't touch it or smell it, then it's not real. That's a common. The common ideal upon this planet. I'll believe it when I see it. Common sense tells me you're not really enlightened. Of course it would. You can't see it, taste, smell it, touch it, or hear it. But you can feel into it. You can use your other divine senses, which there's around, I think there was 200 and something thousand of them. Way more than the 5 common senses. Oh, to be a common human. What a journey. What an experience. But you start to, if you just believe in that common sense, and you just assume that's true, and you walk into it, what does energy do when you assume something? When you make a belief about something, when you say, this is what I choose. Maybe you're choosing it subconsciously. Maybe you're choosing because you didn't realize there was another choice. That's fine. You can't blame other people for it. You can't blame your parents. You can't blame your teachers or the rest of society. Let it go. There are no victims here. You chose it. Even though you didn't aware, maybe you weren't aware there was another choice. It doesn't matter. You chose it. You chose to assume that. Nobody's fault. Just, you assumed it and then it became real. You assumed it and the energies came in and in service to that. But then if you're watching this, you probably have had your awakening or are going through it. Otherwise, I don't understand why you'd be watching this video. Maybe you're just curious. But when you have that awakening, that's when you hear that there's more. There's something other than this 5 common senses. There's something other than just me being in the mind or me being a body, me being energy. There's this thing called consciousness. There's this awareness. Don't know what it is, but it intrigues me somehow. And you begin to explore that, to open up to that. So the way in and the way out are the same. You just assume. You assume there is no prison. You assume there was never a door that locked you in. You assume there's more. You assume that you just walk out. And you allow the energies to come in service to that. It's quite simple. It's quite easy. You just walk out. The same way you walked in. But there's a thing about this planet is, one reason that made it so easy to walk into the prison is mass consciousness. Mass consciousness is kind of a collective consciousness of everyone on the planet. And if you have, 99% of the planet population in the mind, that consciousness that has a gravity to pull you in and to keep you in. It makes it difficult to get out of the mind. The more people you get into the mind, the more energy it has. But there's a thing about it too. It's very subconscious level. People don't know they're in the mind. They just assumed it. But they've never really made a conscious choice either way about being in or out of the mind. And a conscious choice always has more energy behind it than an unconscious choice. Because it's conscious. It's aware. It has light within it. It's a living, breathing choice in a way. It's not a subconscious choice is kind of usually dull. It's in the background. It's very passive. It's just there, but it's kind of hidden behind everything. The active, the movement of awareness, of that aware, conscious choice, it's out in front. It's taking the lead. So it can be a bit uncomfortable when you try to come out because there's still that tendency that you're in that energy of that gravity pulling you back in. That's why you're going to kind of come in and out and in, out and in at the beginning. But the thing is, just make a choice. Make that conscious choice. Because I say, it's all about allowing, but allowing doesn't mean you don't make choices. Especially conscious choices. I love a beautiful conscious choice. That's why I say, when you feel yourself getting pulled back into the mind, it's okay, it's going to happen. Nothing wrong with that. But when you do it, just be aware. Oh, take that deep breath. Oh, I'm going back into the mind. Interesting. That's funny. Oh, it's not what I really choose anymore. Okay, so take that deep breath. That breath brings you into that space of allowing, that space of openness. You just assume it does. Just assume. And you walk into it. You think, oh, I'm going back in the mind. That's fine. I won't stay there. You feel yourself getting pulled into drama. Same thing. Oh, you start to come to awareness. I'm being pulled into drama right now. Oh, that's good. Take a deep breath. Stand behind that short wall. Observe it. Just see it. Watch it. It's not yours unless you take it as yours. And sometimes, especially with drama, you're going to get pulled into it for a little while. You're so used to it. You might get upset, angry, whatever it is, or just all upset about something. Oh, these stupid people, You might get into it for a while, and like, oh, wow, I really went to drama that time. I really went into that energy of, I wasn't really standing behind the short wall. Oh, well, I'm aware of that now. Then you make that conscious choice and step back. And you say, wow, you feel it. Why was I so drawn into that? That's funny. It's not about forcing it. It's not about saying, okay, I cannot go into drama. I have to walk around rigid and emotionless. No, you calm down. It all happens organically, naturally. Take a deep breath. Relax. Oh. You're going to start to see the patterns that draw you and pull you into things. What causes you to panic? What causes you anxiety? Just be aware of it. You don't have to understand it all or try to figure out why it's there or how to get rid of it or how to fix it, because it's not about that. It's about just being aware of it, accepting that it's there, being okay with it, giving it compassion and gratitude and acceptance. It's all it really wants. It just wants to be accepted. It's a part of you. It's an energy of you that you've created. That you've kind of took away and put it out there and gave a label that it was bad. It's not. And as you give it compassion, it takes time. Some energies have a lot of stuff behind it. It can be multiple lifetimes of energies of friction. And they'll take a while to come back. Even I have things out there that I still haven't brought in yet. That still come up. It's interesting to watch. Now, I react to them much differently nowadays than I used to. When they come up, I'm like, oh, interesting. That's still out there. You just take a deep breath and you allow. It's not good. It's not bad. Just be okay with it. And yes, sometimes your mind's going to start to race, and just be okay with that as well. Mind just deserve it. Just step back for a moment, if you can. I know it's going to try to pull you in, and at times it's going to be very successful. It's going to pull you right into it. Trying to figure things out, trying to understand things. trying to figure out how everything works, how everything's come together, why this is such a crazy mess. But I say the way out is through allowing. It's through assuming that you're already out. You were never really locked up in the first place. The way that not to get out is to go back into the mind, because the mind is the prison. It is the cell. If there was one, it's what it is, but it's not really. Because you can walk out anytime you want. But if you keep going back into it, that's all you're doing. You're feeding that same energy. But you've been feeding that energy into it your entire life, so it has a gravitational pull that's going to keep pulling you back in for a time period. It's alright. It's annoying, yes. You wish it would be easier if it wasn't there. But it's there. It's what is, so we gotta deal with it. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just what is. So, take a deep breath. You can fight it, or you can just be okay with it. If you fight it, you're just going back into that. Going back into conflict, into force, and that's all you're going to get. You fight something, the world's going to fight you. Your energy's going to come in that opponent mentality. Oh, he wants a fight. We'll give him a good 1-2. It's your choice. Now you're aware of it, you can make a conscious choice. You don't have to just be going blindly, unaware. That's why people are said to be blind. People who are unaware, because they don't have the eyes to see. They don't have that awareness of what's actually happening. But now that you have eyes to see and ears to hear, as they say, use it. Just allow yourself to be aware, to be open. It's going to be funny, because even when I began this, just sit there and you'll realize something. That seems stupid. I gotta do something. I gotta work at this. I gotta figure this out. I gotta study something. Maybe I need to study more. I need to read this book about this thing, and then I'll understand it. That's all bullshit. I wish if I could have gone back in my time, I would have slapped myself. But I'm okay with it, so I wouldn't do it. It's like, oh man, you were trying way too hard, man. It's simply just allowing. But the human's so used to doing things. It's so used to having to do things to achieve something. There's nothing to achieve, so there's nothing to do, because enlightenment it's already there. It's not an achievement. You do not achieve enlightenment. You just simply have a realization. A beautiful opening. Oh, it was always there. Oh, wow. What the fuck? Why was I working so hard if it was already there? Oh. If only you really knew. If I could just give you that freaking realization, it makes things so much easier. But you gotta do it yourself. I can't give it to you. No one could give it to me. I had to give it to myself. I had to allow myself to have that experience of realization. Oh. So one thing just to always remember, if you got yourself in a situation, you can always get yourself out. No matter what it is, you just assume, and you walk into it. You allow energies to come and serve you. You are open to those energies. Not in conflict with them. Not in argument. Not in friction, but just open, allowing them to freely flow through you. No, it's a nice thing to say, but yes, you're going to be in friction. Every master who's ever come before you, they've resisted it. They have. To one degree or another. So nothing to be ashamed of, but once you become aware of it, you can decide to do something else. You can make a conscious choice. That's a beautiful thing about awareness. Once you're aware of something, then you can make a choice. You can choose to do something different. Or not. It doesn't matter. It's up to you. It's been a fun video. I really enjoyed it. I wish you all another wonderful day. Until next time, I am that I am, an embodied master in service. Always a joy.